Hey, thanks for tuning in today. It's a Friday episode just before the weekend, and I'm just sneaking this episode in as a reflection on last weekend's big weekend of football, and I'll try to make it relevant for you even if you don't like football, but I had to do it this week because if I let it go past next week, I'd probably forget about it. But I definitely wanted to, double click a few highlights over the weekend. And when I was actually walking on Monday, my weighted vest, instead of recording a podcast, I was listening to a local radio station called SenQ. It's a sports entertainment network radio station, and they were doing a Monday morning show just reflecting on all the sport that had gone over the weekend, and every single caller was a bloke. And I'm like, oh, I'm going to call in to represent, and I gave them a call, and it was actually fun. And so I wanted to share, what we spoke about when I dialed into that call. But on Monday as well, I really didn't have much of a voice. I used my voice just yelling at the game on Sunday. And if you listened to the show, you would have heard the previous week I was talking about trying to get to the AFL final. I was super close. I was 80% there. Wednesday morning, flights were looking pretty affordable, and I could make this work. And I was on a Facebook page where people were selling their tickets, but I would say many of them were very, it just seemed a bit dodgy. You looked at their Facebook profiles, you're this is a bot, or it's not real, or it's a scammer. There were a lot of those, a lot of premium packages that were for sale for $2.5 grand. And I'm okay, do I really fork out that? I'm not going to be able to go to the pre or post hospitality event. So I just want a ticket to the game. That's all I wanted. And then by the time someone did end up offering me a legit ticket, the flights went up. The flight that I wanted back on Saturday night, because I left the Broncos on Sunday, it was just it wasn't out of reach. It's just do I really want to spend this in one day? And I can just watch it from home. My dogs, both of them have been pretty crook. So I thought, let's just be a responsible human and do my 20-kilometer walk on Saturday and watch the game from home. So Saturday it was the AFL. It was the Brisbane Lions versus Geelong at the MCG. At halftime, it was 35-all. So crazy. And the stats were really quite even. It was just a deadlocked game. Now, the magic in this is that the Brisbane Lions had a 5-time. Now, the magic of this is that the Brisbane Lions had a 2-time Brownlow medalist sitting as a sub, Lachie Neale. He was injured. And the commentary, oh my goodness, the commentary at the beginning of the game, they're like, why is the coach not bringing him on at the beginning? This is such a really weird move. If I was coach of this team, I would have Lachie Neale on the ground immediately. Yeah, that's why you're not the coach of the team. And so I trusted in the coach. He brought Lachie Neale out in the third quarter, and that honestly dramatically just changed everything. For some reason, their confidence came up. They started scoring more goals. Lachie Neale scored a tremendous goal, and I think that alone is a watershed moment that really changed the game. There's a defining moment if you watch sport. There's a defining moment of every match where that one goal or that 1 point, now I can sense a real shift. And when Lachie Neale scored his goal, it's I kind of knew that the Lions would take it from there. Once he's in fine form, the rest would follow. And that's what happened. And they ended up just fourth quarter, it was a bit of a party. So yeah, my team won that. It was amazing. Yes, I would have loved to have been there, especially because, as you know, Snoop was performing. And what I found out actually is that Super Bowl series with Dre, Eminem, that was produced by Jesse from Mushroom Creative, and so based in the US, and choreographer Fatima Robinson, who I just love in this documentary called California Love. So she does a choreography for that Super Bowl show. It's so good. And when you see her do the choreography, you'll see the attention to detail. There's one part of the show where Dre and Snoop are walking up some stairs and they end up sort of saluting each other. And it's just such a great move. And I thought, when I saw the Super Bowl thing without watching the doco, I thought, oh, that's just them doing that in the moment. But then you think, oh my gosh, that's choreographed in. And that's why she did it. Even when Dre was playing the piano, she's like, you've got to turn your head to the right. So yeah, I didn't realize the attention to detail that was there. So Fatima Robinson was choreographing Snoop's show. I personally loved it. All the tracks were there. They had this brass band on. I honestly think it was the best Super Bowl show. And I was on Twitter. The one time I'm on Twitter every year is during the finals. I was on Twitter just saying that. A lot of people agreed. And yeah, they did a really tremendous job. Incorporated local Aussie talent, Baker Boy, Tash Sultana, the guitarist, incredible, and Jessica Mauboy. So that was really fun. Then final on that I went to at Suncorp Stadium on Sunday, I was actually going for the Panthers. And so the Panthers are a team from Penrith. They've won the last 4 years. They were playing my local team called the Broncos. So of course, A stadium of 52,000 people, about 50,000 people are supporting the Broncos. Panthers were up at halftime and then the Broncos came back. They ended up winning. It was a sad day for me because I wanted Panthers to win, but a great day for Brisbane. And of course, I'll be supporting Brisbane in the final against the Storm on Sunday. But the highlight for that match for me that I mentioned on the radio was when Adam Reynolds, the captain of the Broncos, stepped up to kick the last kick. Up to that point, Reece Walsh had been doing the kicking and he'd missed a pretty easy goal. I yelled out, Snoop Dogg would have got that kick. Anyway, because Snoop Dogg in some of the pre-game last week was kicking goals all over the ground. But Adam Reynolds, it was a kick in the last 3 minutes to win the game and take the team to the finals. And he has had a really just rough run of injuries. But for him to, as captain, to say, like, I'm going to take this one, it was a difficult kick. I mean, the pressure on him was immense. You couldn't hear anything. Like, everyone in the stadium was like dead quiet when he was approaching this kick, and it flied like right through the posts to take Brisbane to the final. So yeah, this is Thursday and I'm still sort of buzzing over that experience last week. It was just a wonderful weekend of sport, beautiful weather, and I'm glad I could make one of the games. All right, that's it for me. Thanks for listening and I'll speak to you tomorrow.